What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching today, baby. Ooh, baby. All right, guys. Sorry I'm a little bit late here. Let me get everything turned off real quick and get the old egg white going. How's everybody doing? Good to see you, Deb. Good to see you. Waiting for some. Let's see. All right. I don't know if Marky's in here already. I dropped the link for the StreamYard. Hopefully, Marky and Sunny can make it in here today. It is cold as hell in here, so I'm going to get my shoes on. So today we are hopefully going to talk about life after Suboxone with Marky and Sunny. So hopefully they can get on here. If you guys don't know yet, this is a long stream, so come on in, strap in, and hang out. Say hello if you'd like to. Please smash the like button on your way in. And drop some comments, questions, whatever you guys have. Good to see you, Deb. Good to see you. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this thing set up here. Let's see here. So I'm assuming Marky will be in here pretty shortly. I'm watching for the guests on there. So we'll kind of hang out and chat for a little bit. And then we'll probably bring them on in like 10, 15 minutes or so. So if either of you guys are in here and you see this, just kind of chill, and you can log into the guest section if you want. Deb, is the video, audio, everything seem right? Everything look right, seem right? I just seen that Florida Man Dan had said something about like his buddy, one of his buddies just got out of rehab and he's getting onto Sublocade today. So Dan was saying something like we need to hook up and make a video. So you guys know who that is? It's like, I think it was like No Jumper Crip or something like that. I don't know. I just barely seen it just a minute ago before I hopped on here. So Kev's getting his egg whites and Izzy's snack. You know it, Deb. You know how I do it for the stream. I always have to let her outside too because I feed her right before too. So let's see. Deb says, "Hey, I'm 10 days off today. Congratulations, Deb. How are you doing? How are you doing? Give us the dirty deets." So congratulations to Deb. She is 10 days off of Suboxone, and as of now, Marky Rizzo is over a year off of Suboxone. There's Marky right there. So shout out to Marky for getting a year off Suboxone. And for Mama Deb, she just hopped off 10 days ago, guys. So Deb, do you want to tell us how you're dealing with that? I haven't had time to check in on Zach's channel. I'm assuming he's got to be, I don't know, 17 days or something right by now, right, guys? Yay, Deb. Kev, I just walked in from work. Yeah, take your time. We're going to just hang out and chat here for probably 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll bring you, and hopefully Sunny's in here on as well. I dropped the link above for you guys. Let's see. So she says, it was a little rough for probably 8 days, but I don't feel bad today at all. Wow. So are you getting sleep right now, Deb, or how's the sleep going? And what about RLS? Are you even getting that stuff anymore? Are you having any issues with sleep or RLS? Oh, Rachel's up in the house. What's up, Rach? Good to see you, girl. She coming in here early today. Let's keep an eye open for Sunny. Hopefully he sees this. I know we've been kind of planning on this, having these two gentlemen on for a month or two now. So I really hope Sunny's able to get on here. Oh yeah, sorry, Rach. So I apologize to everybody, like everyone who's been trying to reach me through email and comments and stuff. I just kind of have to take a break sometimes from all that stuff. So I haven't really had a chance to respond to emails and a lot of comments I've missed lately as well. So I did remember seeing your comment about the egg whites. So yeah, Rach, if you've seen my video I put out recently about bodybuilding, the food that I eat, so you'll see that my fridge is full of egg whites. So I make like half of this is egg whites, just pure regular egg whites out of the carton, and then half of it is milk, and then I'll get some sugar-free chocolate syrup and squirt it in there. And this literally, to me, this literally tastes better than like buying a chocolate milk at the store. because I actually did that not too long ago, and I didn't like the way it tasted. So some people are worried about like the texture of this, and trust me, it's good. It tastes freaking excellent. So it's basically like having chocolate milk, but with, you know, 40 grams of protein right here. So I did make videos. If you go through my health and fitness video section, Rachel, I do show how I make my meals, and in there I do show how to make the shake. I drink these shakes every day. Women can use these as like a meal replacement too. And trust me, it tastes good. And sometimes, like, I had a banana before I started the stream too, to get my carbs to go with the protein. So, oh yeah, oh yeah. So looks like we've got, let's see, what do we got here? We've got 9 people in here, 6 likes on the video, guys. I appreciate you smashing that like button for your boy. If we could try to get that over 10 here pretty early, I would love that if we could do that. So yeah, we're planning on bringing Marky on in about 10 minutes or so, maybe 15 minutes. I'm just gonna chill and chat with you guys for a little bit. And also we hope to have Sunny S on too. So let's see. Oh, Callie Love, what up, girl? Did you get your Sublocade shot yet? She says, hey, everyone, love y'all. Good to see you, Callie. Good to see you. Let's see. So Deb says, I had RLS for a week. Not much sleep, but last 2 nights I slept. So what's your definition of sleeping, Deb? Like 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours? Because I know for me, man, it was so hard to sleep. Even when I was on Ambien, right? It was very hard to sleep when I was going through Suboxone withdrawal. And you all know that Ambien is very strong medication. Laugh out loud. Don't apologize. I was being nosy. No, you're good. No, yeah, I love to talk about that stuff. You should try it sometime. I'm telling you, you will love it. Can you help me pick a powder? I don't know if I can do egg whites, my friend. That's the thing, though, is I actually way prefer the egg whites over powder. Like, to me, the powder is, you know, it's like processed. It just doesn't taste good to me. This literally tastes better than protein shakes. Even the best kind of protein shakes I used to buy, guys, I'm telling you, if you guys haven't tried the egg whites, there is absolutely no way you will even know that there's egg whites in here. I promise you guys. Try it, Rach. Try it. Go buy a carton of egg whites. Get your milk, whatever kind of milk you like. Make sure that you buy the sugar-free chocolate syrup, right? I get the Walmart brand. It's like $2 for a whole thing of it. Just squirt a little bit in there and mix it all up. And I promise you guys, you'll have no idea there's egg whites in there. But yeah, I gave up protein powders years ago. This is a much higher quality protein, in my opinion. Yeah, the egg whites in the carton, they aren't snotty like regular eggs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So Callie says she should be getting her shot any day now, guys. So guys, we are seeing a major amount of you guys are switching to the Sublocade shot. And I'm not exaggerating, guys. There's a lot of you guys that are doing that. So this should be good for what I'm talking about, right, guys? In the future, there's going to be a lot more people with experience on the Sublocade shot. I'm seeing huge amounts of you guys that are either switching or you've already switched over to Sublocade, right? So I definitely want to be a major source of information regarding Sublocade in the future. And as you guys have heard me say before, Sublocade is the future, guys, when it comes to MAT treatment. I promise you. So the subject revolving Sublocade is going to continue to increase with time. I can promise you guys. So if you guys want more information about Sublocade, or if you want to read people's stories, how it was, you can do so right here on my channel in the comment section. Okay, I have made videos about where people are sharing their direct experience with Sublocade, and those videos are going to continue to gain traction as we go, guys. Okay. Oh, so Callie, sorry, I haven't had time to respond to your last email, but I remember you said something like, let me pull it up real quick. So, Callie, maybe you can kind of touch on a little bit more about your doctor's stuff. So, Callie says, I don't want to read all your personal stuff on here. So, let's see. She found a good doctor that she feels comfortable with. He's been doing the shot for over 2 years now. I was just concerned when he told me I would stay at the 300 milligram shot the whole time. So yeah, that's different. That's definitely different. But that could be awesome, Kalia. If you wanted to do like a maintenance on Sublocade, like you literally might be able to get a 300 shot like every 3 or 4 months, right? All right, Sonny, good to see you, man. Yeah, we'll probably bring Sonny and Marky on in like the next 10, 15 minutes, guys. So chill out, throw some comments in here, smash that like button. I posted a link, Sonny and Marky, at the very top. So if you guys want to hop on here in like maybe 10 minutes or something like that, whenever you guys are ready, no rush. So we're gonna have Sonny and Marky on in just a little bit, guys. So yeah, so Callie's doctor is saying that he wants to keep her on the 300 milligram shot the whole time. So that's definitely different than I've heard. So we're seeing a bunch of different scenarios out there, guys, right? I've never heard of any doctor say that they're going to keep somebody on the 300 milligram shot. But let's just say if Callie wanted to continue on staying on a form of maintenance, right, with the shot, with the 300 milligram shot, I would be willing to bet, Callie, that you could probably push 3 months between shots. And I'm being 100% serious with you when I say that. As you guys know, I've been going, my last shot, I went with just 75 milligrams. No, I went back up. The shot before this last one was 100 milligrams, and I went 2 full months between shots. And even between the 2 full months, I had absolutely zero issues. So had that been a 300 milligram shot, I could have easily gone another month, right? Because that's 3 times the amount of buprenorphine in your system, right? So, Callie, what I would say to you is get your first shot, break the oral addiction as soon as you can. If you can do it from day one, which I think you can if you go into the 300 shot, get rid of all your oral Suboxone as soon as possible. Because if you take the 300 milligram shot and you keep taking oral doses, then your buprenorphine levels are going to be spiked, right? It's going to be very hard to use the restroom. You know what I'm saying, right? So that's going to be extra motivation for you to just stop instantly. And in my experience, it literally only takes 1 to 2 weeks from the time you get rid of your oral stash, from the time you don't even think about Suboxone anymore, right? I talk to a lot of people that say similar stuff, like 1 to 2 weeks after you get rid of your stash, it's going to stop being an option. So it's going to stop being on your mind, right? Her doctor suggested that she stays on for the rest of her life, but did say that she could space them out. So I'm not really sure how I feel about staying on for the rest of your life. I mean, if that's something that you want to do, then okay, then do it. Go in every 2 or 3 months for a 300 milligram shot. And that's only, 4 shots a year. That's nothing, right? A lot easier than dosing every day. I'm going Okay, so she's going to let us know after she gets her first shot. We'll give her some time to stabilize and get used to the shot, and then we'll have her on the channel in the future, guys. So shout out to you, Callie. I'm excited for your Sublocade future. Let me get back to some comments here. I don't want to get all the way behind before we get the gentleman on here. Let's see. Also, this is probably a good time for me to go ahead and thank the sponsors of the week, guys. So before I do so, I want to make sure that you guys know that I am not a doctor. Nothing on this channel is medical advice. So if you're struggling with addiction, please seek out your own medical doctor, guys. Everything on this channel is for entertainment purposes only, and for me to share my experience with you, and for you to share your experience with others. All right? We pay it forward. We get the information. We give it out to other people. We're just sharing information here on the channel. Information is coming and going. Okay, guys? So that being said, I want to send a shout out to Callie Love. She is the sponsor of the week. She did 2 different super chats on last week's live stream. So shout out to you, Cali Love. I appreciate you sponsoring the show and also being a moderator here on the channel as well. We also had Mama Deb. She's been coming in heavily in the Cash App sponsorships lately of the channel. Shout out to you, Mama Deb. Always appreciate you, girl. And congratulations for being off Suboxone for 10 days, baby. We also had Marky Rizzo with a $5 Cash App last week, and Mikey coming through the $5 Super Chat. So shout out to all 4 of you who contributed to the channel for the week. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. As I wear myself out of breath. All right, let's get back to some comments. I'm going to bring the guys on in 5 or 10 minutes. Throw out any comments, questions you guys have. Marky has now been off Suboxone for over a year as of today, and Sonny's been off for over 2 years, guys. So we're going to talk to them about what life is like after being off of Suboxone. What? So Deb says she slept 7 hours last night. No RLS either, guys. So damn, Deb, you are just loving that. That's crazy because I remember you kind of had RLS for so long, but now that you're off, I wonder, because I'm going to bring this up to Sonny when he's on, because I remember he said that when he was towards the last parts of his taper, he said it felt like he was just kind of always in withdrawal. So that's interesting. That it kind of sounds like both of your guys' scenarios were really similar, Deb. It's like you're feeling better now that you're just off, right? 10 days with nothing. You're a miracle, my mentor. Yeah, so Deb's 10 days off, and I think Zach is like 14, 15, something like that. So I need to catch up on Zach's videos. I'm way behind with YouTube stuff, guys. So let's see. Cali Love, I tapered so low it wasn't doing much anymore, and I just stopped. Okay, I might try it. I have the syrup already for my coffee. Oh yeah, you're good then, Rach. Yep, that's all you gotta do is half milk, half egg whites. Just shake that baby up. You won't even be able to tell that there's egg whites in there, I promise. I switched doctor, but I won't have my first shot till the middle of April. So even Rachel's switching over to the Sublocade shot, guys. So shout out to you, Rach. What doses are you coming from and going to, Rachel? You guys always know that I'm super curious about what Suboxone dose you're coming from and what Sublocade dose you guys are going to. So in the future, if you guys give me like updates here and there, a lot of people are going to want to know, you know, what Suboxone dose you were on, what dose of Sublocade did you switch to, and how was the transition? Was it not enough? Was it too strong? What up, Jerry? Jerry says, I feel good on my second shot. Last Thursday, I got my last 300. 5 more 100s, and I'm done. Yeah, that's awesome, Jerry. Yeah, I can't believe how fast time has gone, guys, since I've been on Sublocade. You know, I haven't taken an oral dose of Suboxone now for 6 months, 6+ months. It's crazy to remember what that was like to have to take Suboxone every day. It's literally it's very different, guys. And I know that you don't know what you don't know. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Some of this stuff is kind of hard to explain unless you actually experience it. So I'll just kind of talk about my situation really quick, guys. So if you guys do or do not know, so I've been on Sublocade now for, I don't know, 7 months, I think, somewhere right around there. My first shot was 150 milligrams. My second shot was 100 milligrams. My third shot was 100 milligrams, but at 5 weeks spaced out. My fourth shot was 100 milligrams, but 6 weeks spaced out. And my fifth shot was, now I'm getting confused. My fifth shot was, let's see, 75 milligrams, but 2 months spaced out, right? So I went 150, then I went 100 for 3, and then 75 for my 5th, right? Is that right? I think that's right. So depending on how I'm feeling when I go in another month, so it's now been 1 month since I had my last 75 milligram shot, right, guys? So things are coming down, obviously. So far as of right now, I'm scheduled to get my 6th and final shot in 1 more month from today, right? So if a month comes up and I'm still feeling like I could go a little bit further, I'll probably push out an extra 2 weeks. I don't know. We'll see what happens. My doctor doesn't really want me to push too much past 2 months, but it's my last shot. I'm going to do what I want, doc. I'm going to run this show. Nah, my doctor's cool. He won't try to punish me. So that's where I'm at, guys. I'm planning on getting just 1 more shot. That's the goal here. And then I'm kind of just really excited to kind of see what happens from there, really. I'm just excited to see what happens in the future. And I'm excited for all you guys who have gotten off or your oral doses or you are getting off soon. Like, I'm very excited to hear how you guys' lives change after getting off of Suboxone. Rachel, I went through the withdrawal very slowly for a good month or so. Yeah, so she tapered really low. I'm not depressed at all. I just don't really know what to do with myself. So the boredom can kind of start to kick in. Yeah, just do whatever you can to keep yourself busy, Dad. Rachel, last time I tried to jump, I had bad anxiety, but I tapered down. I had none. But tapering down, I had none. Callie says, no way do I want to take them my whole life. I'm hoping a few more months. And see, that's the thing, guys, is if your doctor says something like Callie's doctor says, we'll probably keep you on Sublocade for the rest of your life. Guys, it doesn't have to be that way, I promise you. You know what I mean? Like, just go with whatever your doctor wants to go with for the first little bit. A lot of people are stopping shots after 3, 4, 5, 6 shots. And then it's just slowly tapering them off over the next, I don't know, 6 or 12 months, right, guys? So it's not like you're signing a contract with your doctor saying, oh, I'm going to stick to this commitment for the rest of my life. It's not really like that, guys. So if your doctor wants you to just say that you're going to stay on for a long term, then just go with that if you need to. Whatever you got to do, just get on the damn shot, and then you can navigate from there afterwards. I mean, if I was in your shoes, Callie, and my doctor was trying to say 300 milligram shots every time, I would get the first 300 milligram shot and then just push until you're ready to get the second one. And then I find that after every shot you get, you can push longer, guys. So something to keep in mind because remember, the half-life is 45 to 60 days. Meaning that it takes 45 to 60 days for half of the shot that you got to wear out of your system, right? So keep that in mind, guys. In my personal opinion, there's no need to go in every 30 days for a Sublocade shot, especially after you have a few of them built up in your system. They will last longer than that, trust me. And you'll feel it too. You'll feel that it just lasts longer than that, right? You guys will know what I'm saying when you get to this point. I see we've got one of the guys in the chat room now, so hang tight a couple more minutes and I'll bring you on. If that's Marky or if that's Sunny, I'll wait for the other one to hop on and I'll bring you guys both on at the same time. So if the second guest getting on today, if you want to hop on there soon, I'll bring you guys both on, okay? I'm going to finish up on the comments real quick here. I love the fact that I don't have to wait to take the subs in the morning to feel good. I feel good when I wake up on the Sublocade. Yep. And that's because your levels haven't been dipping through your sleep, right? You're just steady all through the day and all through the night. A lot of people can feel like crap in the morning when they're on Suboxone because their dose has went down through their sleep. My dose has been all over the place because it's been almost 12 years. I'm back up to almost 8 milligrams now. Not long ago, I was on 16, then went down from there. Doctor said she still wants to do the 300 for the first shot. So if I was in your shoes, Rachel, knowing what I know about all the doses and whatnot, I would say ideally somebody would be, 8, 10, 12 milligrams, somewhere right around there. If you're going to start at the 300 milligram shot, that would probably be about the best transition dose, I would think, somewhere between 8 and 12 milligrams. 300 sounds right, Rachel. I bet you'll do fine. Yep. Deb, that's awesome. I have so much hope hearing that you haven't had a bunch of anxiety and depression. And another good thing about people like Deb and Zach, who are coming off right now, guys, is think about it. Like Deb, she's been stuffed up in a cold ass winter. I mean, I know kind of Zach's always lucky with his weather, but a lot of people, if you've been stuck in the house with the wintertime blues, right? And now we've got springtime coming. It's kind of the perfect time to get off of this stuff, right? Because you want to stack the cards in your favor however you can. Like any little thing is going to help. And if springtime is your favorite time of the year, then that's going to help your happy hormones be happier, right? Just something to think about, guys. All right, looks like we've got both the fellas in here. I'm going to go ahead and put my headset on, guys. I'm going to put my headset on and do an audio test because sometimes the audio is too loud on the headset. So I've turned it down. Deb, if you could let me know how the audio sounds before I bring the fellas on. Get these babies strapped on. All right, audio test. Is this too loud? Does it sound loud enough? Is it about as loud as it was before, guys? Please let me know. I'm going to bring the fellows on here in just a moment. Yeah, thank you, Deb. She says, don't sniff, Kev. Yeah, I'm going to try not. If you guys notice I start sniffing, please let me know. I think I just sniffed because I know it's really loud since the microphone's right here. Sounds as good as before. Okay, perfect. One last comment. Deb says, I swear the tapering low works. You go through small episodes of feeling a bit off when you taper, but I think that's paying a piper $1 instead of $20 a day. Yep. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Deb. You just kind of suffer a little bit at a time if you're tapering, right? I seen somebody in my comments said something like, it's the same if you jump off of 16 or you jump off of a tiny dose. I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense, my friend. That's not even scientifically possible. So anyways, let me bring the fellows on here, guys, just a moment. Sonny S coming in first. Let's see.
What's up, man?
Fellas, can you guys hear me?
I hear you. You hear me?
Yeah, yep. You sound good, Marky. Sonny, you want to say something?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. I think there's a little bit of a delay on Sonny's end. Let's see. Yeah. Marky, do you have headphones in, Marky, or no?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so that's why there's no delay. Yeah, Sonny, if you can put some kind of headphones in real quick, that would help. So how you doing, Marky?
Good. How you doing, bud?
Dude, that's funny. You're like sitting in the same spot you were last time you were on here.
It's the only quiet place in this house, bro. It's the best. That's it.
That's funny. I noticed that. I noticed that Matt always does his videos in his truck too, so that's funny. Are you in a work truck or something?
Yeah.
Nice. So it looks like you're just about a year over Suboxone now, huh?
Just made it a year. Just made it
a year.
Yeah. And big shout out to Mama Deb. Mama Deb, I'm super proud of you. I just want to say that before we get started. Yeah, I know it's been a long journey for all of us, just seeing what we've all gone through, on our own journeys. So it's been really cool to kind of support and see Deb progress as she's gone. And we're seeing so many different things happen with so many different people. It's really cool right now to kind of see the growth of everybody, and everyone's making their own path, I guess, so to say. Yeah, so I was gonna
Yeah, that's cool. So congratulations to you, Mama Deb, and also Zach as well. It's been cool. Congratulations to you, Marky, for making it a year, dude. That's a major fucking accomplishment, dude. I hope you're really proud of yourself because we're all proud of you, man.
Yeah, for sure.
You look like you're doing good, brother.
Yeah, it's cold in Florida today, so I'm suffering a little bit.
What's your definition of cold? Like 70?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe 68.
68. All right.
How you doing, Sonny?
Right. I'm good, man. How about you, brother?
Good, very well, thanks.
Is it better?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot more responsive now. When you didn't have that, it was like a second or two delay. So how are you been, Sonny?
Been doing good, man. Just similar weather to Marky because I'm in Atlanta. So, but it's weird. Like last night it was 29 degrees, and then it's 60 right now.
Yeah.
Like this morning at 6 o'clock, when I was taking my daughter, it was 29, and now it's 60.
Well, I'm jealous of both of you. So we had our first day yesterday. It was like 55, but it was windy as heck, so it sucked.
I couldn't imagine out there.
Yeah, dude, it's been cold. We're actually just finally starting to melt the dang snow. So I'm just happy to see the snow go away finally. So, Sonny, you've been off Suboxone now for how long?
I think November, December, January.
It's over 2 years now, right?
So 2 years and 5 months.
Okay, 2 years and 5 months. So
yeah,
it's just kind of pick both of your guys' brains. Like, what are some things that you guys have noticed that's just different? I know I've spoken with you both separately before. So for the people that haven't seen our past videos and maybe some updates on your life, if you want to start, Sonny, like what are some general things that people could kind of look forward to in their life after they've paid the piper or they've done their long, slow taper to get off of Suboxone? Like what are some things that you've maybe noticed?
I think, the biggest thing I've noticed is, I didn't know, like it had been so many years, right? Being on Suboxone, 7. And then the amount of years before that, right? Being on opiates. And so when I got off, it's like, you don't know what's up or down, man. Like I didn't know, like, I guess I had this false sense that like everything will be like how it was 17 years ago, or 15 years ago. And it's like, it's just a slow process with kind of coming back to like life and things and your perspective on things and the things for me personally that I was avoiding thinking about all the time on Suboxone and the things I was not doing that I was supposed to be doing. They all went away. Like my whole way of thinking kind of just changed, but it was a very slow process to that, so that took time. But aside from noticing that it's awesome, I mean, it does cross my mind. Like I don't think about it all the time, but you're in your car alone in the morning going to work, and sometimes I'll be sitting and I'll be like, wow, man, 3 years ago sitting at this red light, I was in a completely different world, so here and there, like I'll remind myself how great this is. I don't have to take anything. I don't feel bad. Everything's going good. The main thing is I'm accomplishing and motivated to do things that I didn't do for 7 years.
Yeah.
Aside from the motivation of first getting on Suboxone and, getting out of your bad habits and changing things, that was good first year or two. But then after that, it was like, I stopped and it was just like this, that's really it, man. It's it's, you know, first, it's too many emotions when you're first coming off, you know, so I'm sure Deb's probably feeling that, or soon enough she'll be feeling that, you know, and you'll hear a song and it's like, and you know, you're like, what? It's the emotions, man, because I was numb.
Yeah.
That's what it did to me, you know.
Yeah,
I notice whenever I start to get low on buprenorphine that I definitely start to get extra emotions that weren't there when my bupe levels were higher. So I think that's definitely like a marker that you can't see, but you could kind of gauge some things. You know, if somebody's tapering to a really low dose, or if they jumped off, you can expect some raw emotional feelings to come start hitting you. I noticed every time that I've gotten off of Suboxone in the past that it's definitely emotional overdrive. Can you relate to that too, Marky?
Oh, big time, man. I think like when you're on Suboxone for a long time, you forget what it's like to be normal, right? You just forget.
Exactly.
You know, you totally forget. You think you remember, but you don't. And it just kind of makes you a zombie, man. So that's why I'll always quote Corey from The World Is Yours, right? Well, we're all just trying to get to like that ground zero, right? And that ground zero is just like happy, healthy, and stoked to be alive, right? With everything fire and normal. Like I used to listen to Sonny all the time, and he used to be like, yeah, you know, if my wife wanted to go back to the store or something, how it was so irritating and he didn't want to go.
Yeah,
right?
man.
And like I was the same way, bro. Like, but you're aware of it. You're aware that you shouldn't be feeling that way, you know, but it's just like how you are. So now, like, life's great now, man. This is how, this is how we're supposed to be. And this is how we need to be. That's why, like, everybody who's in the chat who's trying to get off, and man, this is the goal, right? Like, I forgot what it was like to be normal. And I love it. Like I can't, but I would never.
The normal, though, the things change. Like you're much older, right?
Much
older, the
yeah.
normalcy of what it was before is completely different than the normal now, and that's what got me.
Yeah,
it's like,
of course,
it's like a time warp. You know,
you're not in your late 20s anymore. You know, like now I have to get back to normal being in my 40s. You know, and but whatever, I love it. I mean, I still feel great. Like, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I absolutely would not. And it took the thing about, like, I don't know about you, Sonny, but like it really takes like a year for you to start, like, for you to be able to say, like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm normal again, right? Because like, coming off sub, it's a weird thing, and a lot of people talk about it. Like you'll have these ups and downs, right? Like you'll feel good, and then you'll like go back. You know, it's like progression and regression constantly. You know, for months and months and months, right?
Yeah.
And it's a long road, but it's way worth it. Like.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because every day after, for me, like, I don't know, maybe the first 4 or 5 months, you know, okay, the acutes are gone, long gone, you know, and then you get like the surges of the you're trying to balance out, right? So you got that adrenaline where you're like, whoa, and then you think this is normal, like this is energy every day, but it's not like that. It doesn't stay that way. And then you're down, and then up, and then for months, it's not like it wasn't debilitating for me, but I did the same thing, right? I'd go to the office every day, come home, and it was so I would realize on certain days why I'm like this, and on other days I'm working and I'm like that, like maybe no energy, or not depression, but you want to feel consistent, you know? And that did take about a year, but it's not something, I don't want to scare people by saying like, because the acutes are gone, the uncomfortableness is gone. I know some people might have some pre-existing things. I really can't speak on that, but it does take a year. Like you're absolutely right. And then after that, it's just life, man. You have good days, you have bad days. Normal brain activity has where you're down sometimes. It's just a natural feeling, I mean, you just can't be what we chased before was that energy, good feeling all the time. That's not normal,
Nope, not normal.
Yeah, I heard earlier in the chat, Deb was saying, what was she saying? It was something that, okay, so I kind of remember last time I had you on, Sonny, you were talking about this. You said something like, when you got to the lower doses, you just kind of always felt like maybe you were just feeling crappy or kind of like borderline withdrawal, because it seems like that's kind of what Deb had just gone through.
Yeah. I've seen her comments and stuff, and like, at least for me, like, yeah, like that's why I was like, why am I bothering suffering if I'm already feeling like shit? So those days, those few months, 2 months of being at that, and like, you wake up, you're sweating, whatever, you just get something, you can't even see it, just to shut, and it works, but then that late morning, you might be, and it was just it sped up, and it's like, I just couldn't take it anymore, so it was like, if I'm gonna suffer now doing this, then that's it. There was nowhere else to go, man.
Yeah, I remember when I had a 21-year-old cousin who committed suicide with a shotgun, and I was very close to, like, his mom is my favorite aunt, and I never forget that I had to speak at the funeral, and I'm not a good public speaker, especially when it comes to like sad stuff. And I literally remember that morning, like thinking, all right, so if I take this dose of Suboxone, like I should be able to get through without crying, right? And literally, I just took 2 milligrams of Suboxone, and I didn't shed a tear, dude. And this is like my close family, and I'm talking and just seeing my aunt's world just fall apart, and I couldn't even shed a tear for my own family. Like, damn, dude, that really hit me. I was like, if I was fully sober, I wouldn't have been able to say 2 words. I would have been just bawling, because I know I'm a sensitive guy like that, right? Like, it's crazy how much that stuff can really numb your emotions.
I've had the same thing, man. Go ahead, Marky. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that stuff's horrible, man. It just it numbs you out. Mm-hmm. Like, how many times, Sonny, when you just, as you went on from months 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, how many times did you say to yourself, what is that stuff?
Yeah.
Like, what was that?
I know.
Huh? Like, what can do that to the human body like that for that long, right? Like, how I was just like, that's what I kept saying to myself, like, oh my God, like, what is this stuff? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know, a year's it can seem like a long time, right? But it's not bad. Like, once you make it out the woods, I feel like I started at day 90, but like when we talk about like towards the end, like getting through it, like you're normal, like time's going by normal. Like, you're not looking at the clock and every hour's a minute, right? Life's going on and going on.
Yeah. Yep.
And but it's like, it's a long process, man. Like,
speaking of time, right? The time, like you were mentioning earlier with the wife example, even at work, it just moves so slow. And I think, obviously it's from our mind's perspective of how things are going on. Like, and I do remind myself of that here and there. I'll be at the office and work morning, lunch comes up, eat lunch, get busy, 4:30. Yeah. Of course some days drag, but on subs, every day I was looking at that clock and it wasn't moving. It's like, because again, from like you were mentioning, like I would try to rationalize in my mind in the morning how I could get away with things that I had to do every day. I'd be taking a shower. Maybe I would just scheme up things. I mean, I'm not saying they would all happen, because I knew that was wrong. But just thinking that way about everything, man, everything in my mind, I just didn't want to do. Literally, like, I can't believe the difference, and I'm sure you've noticed it, Marky, between, you got to do something, you got to do it, right? But I'd be complaining about it in my mind the whole time.
Yeah. I know. We gotta go to the in-laws today. Like,
oh man, yeah.
Like, you just wanted to stay home. Like, you didn't want to do anything. That's the thing. Like,
someone makes dinner for you, and you don't want to go to eat real quick.
Yeah.
It's like, right?
Yeah. Like, it was a hassle.
It's funny hearing you guys. It's funny hearing you guys say that, because that's exactly, and I'm still that way. Even being on Sublocade, I do still feel that way. I feel like anytime my fucking phone rings, like I don't answer the phone. I don't answer the text. Like, I'm living in my own little fucking world, and everybody else is living in their own world.
And sometimes that world is good. Not all the time.
Right.
I think it might be a guy thing too. Really deep down inside, we don't want to do anything. But the Suboxone, it'll make sure you don't do anything.
Yeah,
it affects us all the same way, man. I swear, it affects us all the same way. Some people are aware of it. Some people aren't aware of it.
Exactly.
But we're all going through the same thing. Just you're just aware of it. Like, like if you're witnessing your own behavior and you're honest with yourself, you're like, this ain't right. Like, I can't be like this. Like,
yep, absolutely.
But the good thing is that all goes away and you start living again.
Yeah,
that's that's what I want to preach the most, is like how life is so much better off of that stuff. So much better all around.
because you can feel. You can feel.
It's how it's just.
It's supposed to be. Kevin.
I have so much stuff to do now. It's like I don't even know. Like, now my problem is like I don't have enough time.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I don't even make plans. It just happens every day. It's just like, weekend, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're going kayaking, we're doing this, we're going camping, we're going here. It just starts happening, right? Like, you're excited to do things.
You don't think twice about it, though.
No,
right?
I can't wait. I'm
right,
stoked.
right.
I have a lot of making up to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's definitely something I've noticed with my career on Suboxone or buprenorphine altogether, is that it's definitely made me, and I made a video about this a few years ago talking about how Suboxone, let's see, what did I say? It was like the Suboxone turned you into a lone wolf, or it was some shit like that. And seriously, like, I really feel like it made me just want to be away from everybody. The whole world, just shut that shit out and just let me sit there on my own. And I do still kind of feel like that a lot today, and it's just like, I'm excited to see the difference, when the shots do wear out of my system. I'm assuming that I'm just going to start coming slowly back to life, the lower that my levels go. And the cool thing I think about the shot is that I'm not really ever going to know, when it's out of my system, because it takes so long to go out, and it goes such a slow pace that I always had so much anxiety built up, because the second you stop putting that crap on your tongue, the Grim Reaper's fucking coming for your ass. Like, we all
right. Exactly.
We all know that. And so, where I've been through withdrawal from Suboxone so many times, I had so much anxiety built up about that. Like, I got to do this, or the Grim Reaper's coming. And it's just like, I think that's what's so cool about the Sublocade shot, is that it's going to take a lot of that anxiety away. I mean, my brain is already rewired to not have to take something every day just to feel normal. So I think that was a huge part of it for me as well. But I noticed that you guys both found your way off of Suboxone different. Like, Sonny, you tapered down to a low dose, and then you used a little bit of Kratom. Marky, did you jump from a high dose to the iboga, or give us a recap on how your stuff went?
Yeah, I was at like at the time maybe 2 milligrams or 1.5 at the time, but I had to switch to Kratom for like 7. I think I switched to Kratom for 7 weeks before I did it.
Oh, so you did Kratom too. Okay, so all right. So give us a run.
I had to get the Suboxone off my receptors, right?
Okay.
So I did it for I didn't keep track, but I would say 6 or 7 weeks of just Kratom.
Okay.
And then I just stopped that. I went like 24 hours without it, and then I did the ibogaine. That's how I did it anyway.
About how much Kratom? Could you remember how much Kratom you were taking to come off of 2
milligrams?
milligrams?
I didn't measure it, so yeah, it was. At first I would take Kratom, like a half tablespoon scoop. I would put it in orange juice and drink it, right? And I would take that. First, I did the pills that I bought, right? But I didn't want to take that many pills. I had to take a lot when you come off Suboxone, right?
Yeah.
And then I ordered the powder, and I would do half a tablespoon, whatever that is. I don't know it to grams.
4 grams.
And I would just, I'm not sure. I would just shake it up and drink it. And I would go like a few days just doing the Kratom, and then at night I would get kicky. I wouldn't feel well, and I would take a tiny crumb of Subutex, and then I would go another 3 or 4 days, and then I took a 4-day weekend from work, and I said, that's it, I'm not taking this no more. I got to get going. I stopped, and there's just a transition period where you get on the Kratom and you're adapted to it. It just happens, right? But yeah, we have to take a lot.
Yeah, but you that was 2 milligrams, right, Marky?
Yeah, I was at 2 or 1.5 at that time.
So I think that also gauges how much Kratom, because I was on like almost nothing. So the amount that I was taking was like at the most 2 grams. That's at the most. Like, I was trying not to do that, but the middle of the night thing happens, and then you're like, but it still didn't exceed that. Maybe at night. Sometimes I would take it in the middle of the day. It's all really dependent on what I'm feeling. But the started off was at nighttime, and then I'd go a day or two without like nothing and suffering, and then I couldn't wait till the night comes.
Exactly. That's when it gears up. That's when all the, even as time progresses and you feel normal, whatever, at night, that I don't know what it is with nighttime. That's when those little things kick in, right? When you're trying to go to sleep, and those are those nagging things that go on for quite some time, right?
Hey, excuse me one sec, Kev. Let me go grab a charger. My phone is running low. Sorry, man. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, Marky, I had somebody in the questions asked. I don't know if you can respond to this or not, but Rachel asked, "Where do you get ibogaine?"
Where do you get it? Are you gonna?
He's laughing.
Yeah. You get it through community, Rachel.
You got to do your research online, probably.
Yeah.
Could you find communities maybe on Reddit?
Yeah, you just like. I don't know how to answer that. Like, Rachel, like, you can watch videos on iboga and ibogaine, right? And I would just recommend reading comments. Not only watching the video, but reading comments, because that's where the good information is in the comments.
The information
that's not how it worked
seeks.
for me. Right. You could,
There's
many different ways,
You just got to research it.
You can't afford, like say you couldn't afford to go to Mexico or something. I was going to go to Mexico, but I couldn't. And like things just worked out for me. But yeah, just if you're serious about it and you're hungry about it, like you'll find it. You'll
Yeah.
find it. But
Just
you
do
have
some
to
research.
a lot of research, just to see if it's right for you.
Yeah.
That's my best advice.
Son, are you with us again?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
Okay, there's a comment that I kind of wanted all of us to touch on. Rachel had put just a moment ago. And for you guys that are watching, if you have any comments or questions for these guys, what it's like to be off Suboxone for an amount of time, please drop some comments if you have questions, and I'll do my best to ask them. So Rachel left a comment that I wanted you guys to touch on. So she says, I felt so free when I started Suboxone, though. Obviously, it didn't last. So did you guys have those feelings as well when you came from your active addiction to when you first got on Suboxone? And if so, how long did that honeymoon stage last for you guys when you found Suboxone?
Go ahead, Marky.
Yeah, there's a honeymoon phase with it, right? When you get out of active addiction, and I have mixed emotions because Suboxone did help me in that way to get me off of those things and allow me to live a normal life, right? But like if I had known then what I know now, like would I have made the same decisions? Like I wouldn't have, right? I wouldn't have. Like maybe I would have used it for 2 weeks and just like stop then, right? But like I would never, just don't stay on this stuff long term. Like I can't stress that enough. Like but yeah, it was a great tool. I just wasn't aware of what it was going to be like to try and get off of it and how long that would take, right? Because we're just creatures of habit. Another day goes by, another month, another year. And it's like, oh, I got to get off this stuff. More time goes by. And then it's like your soul keeps getting sucked out of you. And it's just like you're stuck in that Suboxone hell.
Yeah.
Which we've all been there, and people are in it now. Like that's why people are on this channel. Like you want to get off of that stuff, I don't know, man. Yeah, Suboxone was good. God. So I can't hate on it completely, but like would I do the same thing again? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I would not.
So how long were you in your active addiction, Marky? Before you found Suboxone?
Look, my story is like I grew up. Like I told you on the last stream.
Sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. No
my
problem.
I'm sitting in an extra room and I'm having work done in my house, and you see, like in the middle of all this. Okay. I don't know if you can see. It's just a mess. So I have nowhere to like plug in or like set things here.
No worries.
All right. Sorry, Marky. Go ahead, brother.
You're good.
Wait, what?
Go ahead, brother. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry. What were we talking about?
So I was asking you, Marky, how long you were in your active addiction before you found Suboxone?
When I got on long term.
Yeah.
Long term, you're saying? Like not long at all. That's when I had I broke my 3 fingers playing softball. I played third base, right? And I had to have 3 pins put in my middle finger, which was like the guy messed the surgery up. It was terrible. It was like the worst surgery I ever had. Like it was horrible, man. And that was when my wife was pregnant with my first child. And I was taking a lot of pain pills then. This was after the Florida, debacle back earlier, right? And I got hooked on pain pills quick, but I already knew about Suboxone. I was like, I can't go down this road. I'm having a kid, and that's when I got on the Suboxone, right? I was like, okay, well, I'll get on this. I can't be chasing pills. I'm too old. I'm having a kid. Like that was the route I went. Just then comes another kid, and then it just like it was just I don't know. The 9 years went by like that, right? Next thing you know, you're in your 40s, and you're like, what am I doing? Like I cannot be on this anymore. Like you just I don't know. There's to get off that stuff, you got to really want it, right? Like it comes from your soul. You're like, I'm not going to take this anymore. Like you get a plan and you do it. And that's what it takes. That's what it's going to take,
So to recap, I don't think I got a direct answer. So how long were you?
Just
9 years in
Suboxone
active
for
addiction?
9 years, and maybe like 3 or 4 months after my surgery. You know, when they stopped giving me pain pills.
How long was your pain pill career before Suboxone?
Before then, oh, that's more embarrassing. You know, 2, 6, 7, maybe 5 or 6 years of the doctor.
Do you think
stuff,
that's embarrassing?
You know, well, I don't know. If you tally it all up, to me, it doesn't matter if I had a couple of years of clean time or not. Like the last time I was a normal human being, I was maybe 26 years old, right?
Yeah.
Whether or not I was cool from 30, 31, 32 or not, it all bleeds together to me. Like,
yeah,
you know, so a long time, like 15 plus years, really.
Okay. And what about you, Sonny?
The active addiction years on what? Opiates?
Yeah, opiates.
Your
okay,
career stats.
I mean,
give us your
right.
career stats, bro.
I mean, okay, so I think if I remember correctly, I mean, I'm gonna say probably like full-time, not part-time. Full-time was probably 4 years, three to 4 years.
Okay.
There was about the same amount of that of just playing around, but being still able to, you know, I was young and worked all the time, and you know, this is going to sound messed up. So I never had a big problem with alcohol, but because at that age everyone's drinking, people coming to your apartment, I play music, and I couldn't do both. So actually, I wanted to drink all the time, so it would stop me from taking pills. But yeah, I guess you could say the hardcore. I'm gonna just go with 4 years before the subs, before I got on subs.
And then how long were you on subs?
7 years.
Wow. Okay.
And then the dabbling, so you could have been 15 years too. Like
yeah, same. I completely
together, right?
I completely relate with you, Marky, and I think we're probably around the same age. We're old.
Yeah. This is this is the last time I remember being normal, like never taking a pill. It was at 26 years old, or whatever,
Yeah, same with me, like around the late 20s, but it was spread out, and there was all sorts of other things mixed in there, but it wasn't an everyday nonstop party until that 4 years,
Yeah.
Okay. And Sonny, what would you say was your honeymoon period with Suboxone? Like, when was it like the savior thing for you? How long did that last?
I mean, so as far as it helping me stop opiates, I mean, it started working right away. So I never went back. Once I took Suboxone the first time, like I didn't want to be doing what I was doing anymore, the nightmare.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm going to say maybe like a year, because the thing is that from the first time, I knew what I was doing, and I didn't want to get wrapped up in that. Same like Marky, exactly like that. And I didn't know the details, but I felt like such shit about myself already that this was just an add-on. And I knew I had to fix the things I messed up quick at that situation, because we all have different situations when we start getting on this stuff.
Yeah.
So my situation was I had to do it quick and fix certain things quickly, and it helped with that. So that's all great. Fixing your whole life, though, that took years and years, but I'm not saying that was a Suboxone, though, because I wasn't. I mean, like Marky said, for me, maybe, I don't know, year and a half at the most on it. I'm like being extremely generous with that number, okay? But not that long, And now I feel same, like I need to catch up with those years that I miss. So it's all right.
We all do a lot of self-justification when we first start taking it, right? Like, oh, this is great. Like, oh, look, well, I'm not using, I'm doing this, and life goes on. And the things we tell ourselves while we're taking it, we just bullshit ourselves basically, right? Like a lot.
Yeah.
I did, like, oh well, like I knew relatively quick that I didn't want to be on it no more. I didn't need to be on it anymore. My body was dependent on it. Like I didn't need to be on it. I didn't want it, but it just had a grip on me. Like I couldn't, and that's when you start. That's how I got on these. That's how I found everybody. Like I just went on YouTube and I started realizing like people had the same problem I had.
Yep.
With tons of people.
Yep. That's what I did.
And it's just like, just we're in it. The stuff's horrible, man. Like I understand. We have to be honest with ourselves, right? Like you're not meant to really come off that stuff, right? Like that's not how this works, man. It's the pharmaceutical companies, they want profits constantly. Like there's no magic remedy, that stuff is, again, I don't know what that stuff is, but I just
I know, man. Sonny? Like, I know exactly what you're. Like, when you're looking in hindsight, especially.
Yeah.
Because when you're on it for so many, again, you don't know what's up or down. It's only this far away that you look back and go, "What in the?" Because it's not like you were high. It's not like you were nodding. It's not like, but it did something. And you were, and of course you needed, I mean, psychologically, physically, yeah, exactly.
It kind of reminds me of, I had like a stretch of attracting toxic relationships in my life. And like at the time I was like, oh, I'm so in love and she's so great. And then like, after all the damage gets done, I'm like, what in the hell was I thinking? Like, I think that's probably
what was that?
Yeah.
Right.
You're not emotionally available, man. Like when you're on that stuff, you can pretend if you want to, play pretend games with a girl or something, but like you can't, not like now, like that's the thing. I'm embarrassed for myself for how I was the past 9 years to how I am now, especially like with my wife. Like I just like, I don't know. You lose your swag, bro. You don't have, I don't know.
But your wife stuck through all that, right?
Yeah, of
Marky?
course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, why I'm saying that is because I know what you're talking about and how you were. For her to do that, because I have the same thing.
Yeah.
Too. I don't understand how they did it.
Yeah.
Because you're checked out, man. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Rachel had asked a little bit earlier. She said, just curious, did your significant others know about your Suboxone?
Yeah.
What did they think about it?
Oh, I don't know. Man, I don't like, what did they think about it? Wow, that's a tough thing to, like, because they're not aware. Like I'm aware of what it was doing to me. I'm not so sure they were, because we're good at acting. Like we can play shit off, right? Like you can fake it till you make it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We have kids. Life just goes on for them too. It's just, I'm sure it was born for them. I don't know, man. That's a tough question. Like we'd have to ask her, like what am I like now? She probably thinks like, who is this guy? Like,
right. Yeah.
Like where'd he come from? Like,
right.
But
I think that it all goes back to if someone hasn't felt it or been through it, their perspective has no idea, even the most loved one sitting next to them. And of course, it's a helpless feeling when you're sitting there kicking in your bed and that person can't hug you and just stop it or do anything like that. It's like, that helpless feeling if you're a child, you want to be able to, that's the worst feeling in the world, is to be helpless if something's wrong with your child, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they don't, from their perspective, okay, they might have even researched, but you don't know the feeling. They just kind of, luckily loved enough to deal with it.
That's why I never wanted to hear anything from anyone who's never taken it, or like,
exactly.
You know, if you've never taken it and been through it, like, I don't even want to talk to you. Like, I can't talk to you about it. Like, no one would understand. You would have to, you'd have to go through it.
Just take a quick pause break real quick here, guys. It looks like we have 17 people in here. I only show 12 likes on this video. So guys, if you enjoy what we're talking about here, if you enjoy the fellows coming on here and sharing what it's like to be moved on from the Suboxone lifestyle, if you guys enjoy the questions, please guys smash that like button. There's almost 20 of us in here. We don't even have 20 likes on this video yet. So please, it'll help the channel grow. It'll help more people see this message, so we can have other people see what we're talking about up in here. So good to see you, Nate S. News23 says, my girl has seen me in my addictions, so she thinks Suboxone is, let me repeat that. My girl has seen me in my addictions, so she thinks Suboxone is great, which doesn't help with my feelings about it. I want off.
Yeah, but how long? How long, right? How long has he been on it?
Yeah, how long you been on Suboxone, News23? Yeah, he could be in the honeymoon period still, right? Which is, for me, I would say it was maybe kind of where Sonny said, maybe a year, 2 years max for me, maybe a year and a half. It was the greatest gift at first, because I was spending $3,000+ a month on buying Oxy from my friend every day. I would spend a couple $100 every day, right? And then to find Suboxone, I was like, oh, I don't need to spend all that money anymore, and I feel totally fine. I'm not having to go through withdrawals. And then, a couple of years down the road, as Marky was saying earlier, it just becomes, it grabs you, and it's just a part of who you are, and it's not easy to just get rid of it like we maybe hoped that it would be.
No.
I remember when I first got on YouTube to kind of research Suboxone, I seen Rockin' Roberta's channel, and she was talking about how she was going to take, I think it was like 6 months or a year to taper off Suboxone. And I was like, what is this chick talking about? I could get off this shit right now. Right. And then I tried it. I went from 8 milligrams to 2 milligrams the first day. I was like, see, that wasn't that bad. I'm going to do 2 milligrams again tomorrow, and then 2 milligrams the next day. And it just hit me out of nowhere. It was like, boom, on the third day. And I was like, holy shit, dude, this stuff is strong.
Yeah, that's like people gotta research what that is. That's like a majority of that stuff comes from Tasmania. They're like genetically modified poppies, right? And that all comes from like.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a partial agonist or something, right? I mean, it goes on the it goes on the opiate receptors. If it goes on there, it's to me some sort of an opiate.
Yeah, it's super strong, man. That's why, like, I always people are like, yeah, well, I'm clean, I'm not doing drugs, and I'm like, well, I mean, good luck with that, saying you're clean when you try and get off of it, because then you're gonna realize, like, well, wait a minute here, like, this is a whole nother kind of beast, So
yeah, on that topic, man, I understand that there's everyone's different with what they're trying, where they come from, what they did, and so I do understand that there's people out there that, I'm thankful that how I grew up and my situation. Everybody comes from different, but there are people out there, I think they do. But for the most part, like, I do agree with you that, like, see, it's so easy to just be taking something and then they're not working towards anything else. It just stop you from doing those habits.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what it does. It just says, okay, you won't do that no more, but you're going to stay here, and you're going to stay with me, every day for years, and it's like, that's
chip away.
Yeah. And so it's like this, it's again, a tool. You take it from the doctor, a certain amount of time, you work through something with your doctor, but there has to be a complete world redirection. In my situation, it was already game over. And very quickly, immediately, even if I wanted to, I wouldn't know where to go. I wouldn't know where to find it. Plus, I'm a parent with a family. I'm not going slumming around in the hood or anywhere else. I'd already spent too many years doing that, out of my element. And, you know, we all regret those things that we did for that shit. And that's, you know, but so for me, it was like, yeah, like I was not even thinking that I was going to go back to that. Like I was like, because again, I wasn't really hardcore into anything most of my life. But yeah, again, I did mess around, and you play, you eventually you pay, even if it was later in life and not in my young late 20s, you know. But I just think that a lot of people do just take it, and now you're just that, and then you kind of fight for it. Like, okay, well, this kept me clean. Okay, and I understand, but I don't know people. It's all YouTube, right? It's all social media. I don't know if they're working towards something. I don't know if they're not working towards something. I don't know if they're just like, well, I've been on this for 12 years. I'm cool. It's just, I think it personally should be just a tool. And then there should be some serious work done on going in a completely different direction and stopping, because that's what the point is, to stop doing what you were doing, but not to stay on something else forever. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a double-edged sword, right? If it's a tool, it's not a very good tool. You just
sure, of course, but I mean that was the only thing out, right? You got the methadone, you got the it's just a replacement. That's what it is. They call it replacement therapy. It's replacing that and then staying.
Yeah, so I don't, you know, that's one of those subjects. I just look at it from my own self-talk. Like I was like, man, like I beat myself up, you know, like
I did too, man.
I'm harsh on myself, like,
and that's what got me off.
Yeah, but like I don't want to be harsh on other people, but sometimes people need that. Like, hey, man, you got to do something. Like you're worth it. Like you got to love yourself. You got to have self-respect. Like you can't stay on this. Like you have to get off of it. And some people will be like, well, some of us will be on it forever. I can't relate to that way of thinking. Like I can't, you know. Because it's all based on fear. Like we were all just fearful of withdrawal, right? Is that what it comes down to?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Just fear.
Well, I think some people, Marky, are in fear of going back to what they were doing. But my point is if it's been 10 years, okay, and you've been on something, now let's not talk about what type of medicine it is. I agree with you. It's not. I hate it. I hated it, and I hate it. I don't, you know, but that's just me because I was on it, you know, and you were on it. So, but, you know, it's like there's still people out there that, okay, if 10 years go by and you're on subs, and you haven't like done anything to work in a different direction, and the fear is still that I'm going to relapse 10 years later. So you were 20, now you're 30.
Right.
It's hard for me to swallow. It's like, because again, so what did you do in the 10 years?
Right.
Just every day taking that, and there was no change in doing anything, you know. But you know, again, people come from all walks of life, man, and their background. Some people are not.
Right.
You know,
I think what Sonny is trying to say basically is that I'm seeing this guy here in the comments was saying he was on fentanyl, but Suboxone did help me find his way out, but he's stuck on Suboxone. So it's like we all know that like there's a huge fentanyl problem right now. So I would say right here to anybody who's stuck in that fentanyl lifestyle, yes, Suboxone could absolutely save your life and get you out of those toxic day-to-day behaviors. But as Sonny was just saying, Suboxone is a tool to help get you, you know, to where you want to be, not to just sit on Suboxone for 30 years and just cruise through life, right? Like use Suboxone, get your shit together, get away from the people that are supplying you with fentanyl, or move across the state, or whatever you got to do. Don't just sit on Suboxone and waste your life away. Make, you know, because it kind of reminds me, I was looking at, I was watching Florida Man Dan's video recently, and he went from fentanyl to Suboxone, and
he hasn't been out of that fentanyl lifestyle long enough to where he actually found a fentanyl pill in his car, and you could see that he was considering taking it. You know what I mean? Like that could have killed him. And I was thinking, if that was me that found, you know, an Oxy 30 or whatever, I would literally just fucking laugh at it and just throw it in the garbage without even 2 seconds thinking about it. Like, I'm so far removed from that lifestyle.
Right.
From Suboxone, right? Like, that's what bought me the time, even though it does suck to be taking something for so long. But it's like built this wall to where it's like, that's the last thing I could ever picture me doing is relapsing. And a lot of that I have to give credit to Suboxone, because it's blocked my desire to seek those euphoric feelings that I would get from Oxy, right? So I think a lot of this all comes down to, like, where are you at in your life? You know, have you made the right steps to get out of that fentanyl lifestyle? Because, you know, we're all over here in our 40s. We're far removed from that lifestyle. And I don't even think fentanyl was around when any of us were in active addiction, right? Was it for you guys?
Like the lollipops. The patch.
The patch. So it's a lot more deadly stuff that's going out there on the streets right now. I
couldn't even imagine right now, man. Right now, I feel for, you know, you knew what you would get. It was bad. Yes, we agree. But you knew. And it usually came straight from the pharmacy, you know?
Yeah.
You saw. It's crazy. It's insane. And it's really,
well, that's why
things have changed, man. Yeah, absolutely, man.
Because I don't want, like, they have to understand, like, well, if I take Suboxone, what's that going to look like, right? But they have to hear our stories, because we were fentanyl, you know, oxycodone 30s, like whatever, Oxycontins, like we all went through it, right? And we all use Suboxone, right? But then fast forward, how many years later?
Exactly.
We're still on it.
Right. So that's the
maybe
it doesn't weigh out.
Yeah.
So
go on.
You
know, just maybe listen to our story and take the sub, fine. But like, have an immediate exit plan. Like, just know, like, and I know that's tough when you're in your 20s. I can't talk to my 20-something-year-old self, right? Like, you couldn't tell me anything. Like, I was going to do what I had to do. And yes, we are older, Kevin. Agreed, right? But yeah, I mean, just be aware of that Suboxone trap. Just have to be aware of it.
Yeah, have an exit plan, or at least be having something that you're working towards, you know, like Marky just said, learn from the things that we've all done, so you don't have to waste 8, 10, 12 years being stuck in the Suboxone trap. Like, get your Suboxone, figure your life out, get all your shit figured out, and then think, okay, where do I want to go from here? What's the plan? That's the exit plan, you know, that's what we were kind of just talking about. Like, just don't let your life just cruise on by while you're taking 36 milligrams of Suboxone sitting in your mom's basement for the rest of your life. Like, that's what like the worst. I mean,
the problem is, Kevin, though, is that knowing these things, yes, it's important, and hopefully people will watch videos and but the Suboxone, it's like, it's against you on moving forward. That's my personal opinion. Like, it, you know, from the mental and physical type of stuff I was feeling all the time. So yes, you should progress forward, but it's like a double whammy, man. It's helping you, and then it's like you're supposed to progress forward, but it didn't let me get off my bed. How was I supposed to progress forward or leave my house even? You know, at least I was in the comforts of wherever I want to be comfortable, and I was good.
Yeah.
And years went by, you know.
And I can relate to that too, you know, and to be 100% honest with all you guys, like, I'm kind of still that way, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not very motivated right now. And it's like, now I have to be on this insurance to get this shot, right? And it's kind of limiting me as far as, because you guys probably know I want to get my business started again, but I can't really do that while I have this insurance, because it's going to kick me off the insurance. So it's kind of keeping me trapped financially that way too right now. So that's why I'm excited to, you know, get my last shot and hopefully just fucking move on once and for all. Jeez.
I can promise you this, Kev. It's all going to come back. Like, you will heal, and that will all fix itself, man. That I can assure you that, right? So like, dude, yeah, the sooner you, I don't know, man. Just I don't know how many shots you got left, but we're only what 2.5 months into this year. Like everybody, like even if you're not, whatever you're doing to get off of it, just have a plan, right? You have to have a plan, and you have to have that desire, right? You have to have it. Like you got to want your life back, because your life, to me, my life was taken from me, and I did it myself. No one forced me to take it, right? But I got stuck in that trap, and just that's why we all just need to support each other. Everybody needs to find their way off of that. That stuff's a problem, man.
Yeah, I definitely think that, step one is like rebuild your life, get rid of all the people who can deal you drugs and shit. And then step two, start trying to figure your exit plan after you've built some sober time, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it's, like I said, these days, these kids can go relapse, and it's not just going to be a throw up session. It's going to be death if they relapse and go to fentanyl, more often than not, probably. But so it's, as we're going through these stories, guys, everyone that's watching this on the replay, just remember is that, we're likely 10, 15, 20 years ahead of what you've gone through or what you might still have to go through. And we're just trying to basically save everybody from doling their life out on long-term Suboxone and just not having anywhere to go but to Suboxone, right? Like, it's up to the person that looks, it's up to you, the person that looks in the mirror every day. I knew in my soul, it's like, all right, it's time to start moving on from this medication. Some doctors will have you stay on it forever, right? But it's really, ideally, it's up to the person that's putting it under their tongue. In your soul when it's time to probably start moving on from that. Some people it might take 2 weeks. Some people it might take 2 years. You know what I mean? But it shouldn't be 8, 10 years, I would think, before you should start thinking about moving on from Suboxone in most cases, right?
It's just fear, like Marky said earlier. It's then, I hate to sound cliche, but for me, at least, it wasn't. I'm not going to make it sound like it was a walk in the park, but it wasn't as bad as I built it up to be. And maybe it was because I tapered and I did all this and that with the Kratom, whatever. But however I did it, and I got free and clear. And yes, I'm not gonna, I did stay awake, and the baths and the weird odd hours and the bolts of energy and the bolts of no energy and the sweating and all of that. But I remember being in that and thinking, man, why didn't I do this 4 years ago? I mean, I'm sitting here doing it now,
Our brains form that loop, like when you're in addiction, like, and you're on Suboxone, it's that loop. Like, I can't, how am I going to do this? I have to work. I have kids. I have to raise kids. How am I going to do this? Right. And it's this constant every day.
Well, it made me, same thing like that loop, the indecisive. I was very indecisive about things. And so I wouldn't think about nothing. And then it would, I couldn't even win an argument or engage in one. It made me a very, I couldn't handle anything. Like, things happen. You have a family, right? Things happen in your family, arguments, this, that, or the other. And I couldn't mentally handle the most even, adult grown up things that I don't even think about twice about those things now, any sort of pressure, office or something. It's just like, of course I wouldn't voice it to people at, office people, but in my head, I'm like, and that's the big difference that I see now than then, is a lot of that just, I can't describe it, man. I felt like a mouse. That's what I felt like, a mouse all the time.
You just avoided it.
Yeah. And, because I didn't want to handle any, like, oh man, if something's going down, oh no, like I would just lose it in my head. And I've never been like that before. I'm not like that now. We're grown adults. We handle pressure. You know, shit happens.
We're designed to handle these things, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that took it took everything that it completely was gone. That aspect in my mind was completely gone. But it's gone. So it's back.
That's great. That's what I mean. Like, it just comes, like, just give yourself, like, Deb, Zach, these guys, like, just, things are going to get better. They're sleeping great, right? But just keep pushing forward. Don't look back. Just keep looking to the future. Like,
yeah, it'll take time.
They'll know. Yeah, it takes time. You'll have good days and bad days, right? But yeah, after a year, it's just like, that's it. Like, I think that's the goal. I think 1 year, I think, is like.
But you'll be so happy.
But at 6 months, but when you're at 6 months or whatever, 5 months, I was like, well, if I'm like this the rest of my life, I'm fine with that. It's better than that.
Yeah, because you couldn't figure out what was, like I was saying, you didn't know normal. Exactly. Right.
Yeah. Then at 9 months, you're like, oh, I'm done. Like, I feel great. And then it's like, you feel even better 2 months later. And you're like, oh, when does this stop? Like,
yeah.
And then, that's just kind of how it goes. And,
but it's not, again, for anyone that's doing, it's not, for me, at least, seems like for Marky too, it's not just, it's not debilitating after all of that. But, and also, you just feel good. You're not having to take anything every single day. Like that whole nightmare of having to get it, or what if some catastrophe happens and you can't go to the pharmacy, or having to write it down at a doctor's office when it says meds. I don't know, all that type of stuff. I didn't like any of that. But so the thought of just like, hey, I'm sitting here and I'm not taking anything every day. I don't have to. It's just it was such a complete uplift for me. It just kept me moving.
Yeah, being in addiction is exhausting.
Yeah. It really is. I was just thinking the other day, like, worst case scenario. I was just thinking like worst case scenarios for me in the future. I was like, dude, if I had to go to the daily Suboxone grind again, I would be so fucking, I don't know, I would be furious.
Yeah.
So I'm literally kind of just thinking like, I just have to deal with whatever happens, dude, and move on, because this shit just keeps fucking going and going and going, and it's just like, dude, I don't know, but
see, watching your channel, Kevin, with your struggle and getting on and trying and tapering, I've watched all of your stuff, man, all through the years, and all the people in the comments, other people's channel. I don't watch too many these days, except really for yours, but it's just so many people that are trying still, and it's because I'm 2+ years beyond and past it, and it's like I just still see it, and I'm like, my God, this, it's like I just hope that it works out for everybody. But because I remember that after you're done and you remember that and you look behind, you see other people, you're just like, whoa, man, holy shit, that's what
everybody to be off, man. And that's why it was huge to me, like having you, Sonny, you coming back and coming in and being like, Sonny, I'm at 9-10 months here. I still have this, like, sometimes at night, I don't have restless legs. I feel uneasy when I try to go to bed, right? And he's like, I know what you're talking about. Like, you need someone to talk to as you go through it, man. And it's good to have that. Like, and I always appreciated it, man. So.
No, man, I'm so happy I helped somebody.
Man, dude, you helped a lot of people, bro. Your videos were awesome. You were so honest, dude, and I could relate to what you were saying, because it was the same. I believe it's the same self-talk we all have.
Yeah,
we all have that self-talk.
Especially when you're delirious in the middle of the night, right? Yeah. In the throes of it, I mean, you're not even thinking straight, really. You might look like you're talking, thinking straight, but it's like, and it's a good thing. I mean, if people want to, I recommend, if they want to put themselves out, they don't have to keep it up forever. They could take their videos down if they want, for whatever life reasons, but it helped me, and and then I realized through stuff I was saying with other people like Kevin or you, and there was many other people commenting that related to these feelings that I never really maybe nobody else mentioned in that way, or I related to, or could relate to. But yeah, it's just nice to get things out, especially when you're.
Yeah. These aren't things
like
that we tell to our friends that don't.
No.
This is why we come here. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this is how I'm feeling right now. Do you feel this way too?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I feel like my soul's gone. Are you feeling the same thing? Yes, I am feeling the same thing. Like, okay, like I don't like it to do anything anymore. Am I the only weirdo? Nope, you are too. Great. I'm not, like, you need people to talk to.
Yeah, could you imagine
absolutely.
trying to relate with your friends or family member that have no idea what it's like to be on this?
You can't.
Stuck in this lifestyle. It's like.
Then they're just bullshitting you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I see that comment.
I understand. I understand what you're going through. Like, no, you don't. No, you have no idea.
I see a lot of comments when people say that nobody else knows about, what they're going through. Nobody else knows they're even on Suboxone or whatever. And it's just like, it's just like we're all instantly a kind of family in a way, because we know the struggles that come along with this lifestyle. So it's just like, I was going to ask you guys, what do you guys think it is that keeps you guys coming back to channels like mine? Over, you guys could easily just kind of cruise on with your life, but 1 year, 2 years, you guys are still coming back in here and talking to people about this stuff. What is it that makes you guys keep coming back here every week and chatting on the channel?
Look, we were, oh man, to extend a hand like that other people extended to me, right? Like Sonny, like I watched you and I was like, man, he's doing it. He's doing it. Like even years ago, Rock and Roberta's live streams being like, listen, this girl was so compassionate and could talk and like give anyone advice, right? Like all these people, or even Ryan Donnelly back then, like when you're going through it, like you can't, like, I just feel it would be bad behavior to just turn my back and walk away. Like, and look, and now I see like Zach and Deb doing it, and Nate S in the chat's doing it, and like I want to see other people do it, and then they can take our place and I can ride off, like this is, somebody has to, we have to pick each other up, man. Like we have to. No one else is gonna do it. We have to support each other, Like I still have a life. I have a good time and whatever, but like I don't care. Like that was such a huge part of my life. Like, and I'm grateful that it's over. But I want to help somebody else out, right? Like I do, I know what it's like. That's terrible. That was. Oh man, words can't describe what that was like for me, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll gladly put my hand out for somebody else. Gladly.
What about you, Sonny? What keeps you coming back every week?
I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, I said, like I said earlier, I mean, obviously when you're in it, you're seeking channels all over the place and reading things constantly and looking up, and that's all you do on YouTube. And
it does.
Hey, but you know what though? That's what helped me. So just like how Marky said, there were Rock and Roberta was the first real one that I said, oh, people are doing this, like there's people actually documenting and putting themselves out there miserable, like, so it gave me a, like it just gave me a fire in my ass, because I'm like you, Marky, the same type. I don't like fluff. I wasn't raised with fluff. Right. I didn't come where I grew up from fluff. It's like, so it's like someone has to, and I understand, the psychiatry and the this and that, but someone has to be like, hey, you're effing up, and you need to stop this now. This is wrong. Like straight, like I don't need the nice. Oh, well, maybe it doesn't work for me. I'm in my late 40s. I know myself, and that doesn't work for me.
Right.
So, like watching people's channels, Kevin, your channel, man, just other people, and then you kind of, after you get off, and you were a part of that same group of people, making videos or watching their videos around the same time, same thing, man. Like I know what it feels like. I know, I like I said earlier, I see so many people in comments here and there because I really only watch your channel, Kevin. I don't search for too many other recovery type channels. Here and there's maybe in my feed something will pop up, but we all want to help, just like we did before. And if somebody, I know what it feels like, and they're taking the time to say, hey, I want to try this. What did you do? Or how did you do it? Or I'm at this much. I'm gonna help. You know. So yeah, it's just for support for you, man. Your videos help me watching them, and you know, I can't say anymore. I just if I see you're live, or I'll catch your little videos that the shorts or whatever, I'll watch them. You know,
plus it's great people. This is a great community. Like Kevin, you got some great people, like people that I like that were strangers, like that. Like I want to see them do well. Like I care for them, you know, even though they're just on the, like I talk to Zach sometimes. I have his phone number. I'll shoot him a text, or you know, shoot him something. You know, he lives an hour from me. You know, but like there's genuinely like great people.
I see a lot of, you know. I see a lot of people building friendships, even on like older videos. You know, I see somebody comment and then they're like, "No, this didn't work for me," or you know, "Try this," and then it's just like, you know, it's really been cool to see over the years how many people have created friendships here on the channel. So
this is something that you need help, man. I mean, it's not something that you can just do all alone, sitting in a dark room somewhere after 7, 8 years, 10 years being on, and you want to do this. And who of course is doctors, but aside from doctors, if you can't go, who else is there to help except people online that have channels or are talking about it, and people in chats that are giving advice. It's not harming anything, you know. It's a good thing, you know.
No, it's a great thing.
It's
how it's done, you know. We have
as Cindy just said, she said it's a war.
Yes, that's what I always said when I was in my video, because for me, I hated it. Like I got to the point, it was like, for many years I hated it. The process, when I was doing it, the thoughts, and it's like once I was like tapering and quit, it was like I'm at war with this drug. I'm gonna win, you know.
You're at war with yourself. You're at war with the drug. Like that's what it is. It's a war. You're right. Well said.
Yep.
It's what it is. Then you're gonna need an army to help you. You know, somebody. You know.
Rachel just said, "Until I met y'all, this was my deepest dark secret."
Yeah. Well, that's why you got to get that out. You can't. You know, just start. Man, I'm a big part. Like I just try and stay in the now. Like you guys need to just start thinking and vision every day. Just envision it. Like, oh, I'm gonna.
If you keep thinking every day, yes.
We create our own reality. You can't be negative. Like, oh, this. Like, try and turn that around. Like, hey, I'm getting off this. This is what I'm doing every day. Like, you don't have to set a date, but every day, you know, like, just
well said,
stay
man.
present.
Absolutely.
It'll happen. It will happen.
It just makes me think about like Deb's taper. She's gone on, you know, she stayed focused on the fucking prize, and now she's there. She's here. She's doing it right now. You know what I mean?
10 days,
I've
right?
seen
10 days. Yeah.
I've seen the constant progress, you know, coming down. And it's just like, you don't have to do it all in one day, guys. If you know, if this is something that you're ready to move on from, set some small goals, build a little momentum, and then before you know it, that little momentum turns into huge wins, right? And you're getting off of the medication and moving on with your life. And if you want to come back here and talk and help others like these fellas are doing, then that's great. We'll be here for you.
I said when Zach and Deb are done, I get to retire. So
don't do it. Don't do it.
Stop in from time to time. You know,
I will tell you.
Retire?
From time to time, I'll stop.
All right.
It'll be part-time. Part-time.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. No, you know. Oh my God, what was I gonna say? Yeah, about the you know, once people get off, right? For the people like that, you know, you mentioned this, Kevin, maybe last week sometime, about generally they kind of disappear. Like, right, that's why you were asking me and Marky about, or the ones who make videos, right, disappear. And it's like, I'll tell you, man, because I was doing it, right, and I did have other reasons, which I mentioned, my business and stuff. But after that, like 6 months, even maybe that year, 6 months, I'll say, even, like, the whole desire, I was so introspective in my mind that, like, I had no desire to even, like, make updates. Like Reed, for instance, he's hasn't made any updates, right? I understand completely why. It's like, you're somewhere else up here now. It's that whole thing. Yeah, man. The whole other thought process of thinking about it every day. So you want to make a video because this is something you're like tangled in, that you're trying to work yourself out of. You're somewhere else now, and like, so that's like, you don't even want to lift and say, hey, it's been a year, guys. I don't want. It's like just completely lost for I think for most people, from what I've noticed. Not everybody, of course, but because you're moving onwards.
Exactly.
Type of thing.
Yeah, I'm a little worried that that's going to happen with me when I come off the stuff. Is like, what if I just don't make videos anymore?
Don't even worry about it, dude. Like,
you know what, man?
Someone else is going to take your place.
When that time comes, dude, you know what? And I have no doubt, whatever, because you seem like, you got your business thing you do, and you have some other things that you dabble in, right? You're going to completely, you'll see what I'm saying. I mean,
comes full circle.
Yeah. And the thing, and if you want to keep, hey, you got a good channel, then you move forward, man. You're not what is it? You don't gossip. You're not in any sort of get involved in any sort of this person and that person in the community videos and nothing like that.
I don't do that shit.
And I think that's why you have the people you have in your chats.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always kind of promised myself is like, I don't ever want to like start bashing other content creators.
Just do what you're doing. I know if the views and the people and all that, but hey, then they're here for the wrong reason.
The channel wouldn't be the same if you had 500 people in the chat. It just wouldn't be the same,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
It's just kind of how it is. Like, then it just becomes clickbait, I guess. I don't know.
Did you figure that out when you figure that out when that comes? First, you get their last shot and see where that goes.
Don't worry about that. Yeah, get well first. They'll figure it out from there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy, guys. Like, time is going so fast for me. Like, I don't know. Like, it just seems like the months are just steamrolling by for me. So it's just like, I know that my time is coming up soon. Like, it's only a matter of time before I'm out of the shot. So I'm interested to see what happens, just because I've read so many people say, that the withdrawal is so different coming off of the shot. So I'm really interested. You guys know I've been through the withdrawal plenty of times. So I'm just excited to see if that's, exactly what people are saying that it is on the internet. But we'll find out in the next few months.
Don't worry about it, Kevin. Just know you're going to be done with it. That's the thing, right? Like, I hate all these little sayings that are like, oh, this is pause, and this is this, and this is that. Like you just have to stop taking the medication, and you have to heal. That's all you're going to do is heal. It ain't pause. It ain't this. It ain't that. You're just healing. Just like when you get sick, whatever, your body will do it. The body's great. It'll do it. So don't get fed up in all these terms and all these sayings. Just like Kevin, like, hey, I'm going to take my last shot this day and I'm going to move on with my life. And you tell yourself that every day. Like, it's going to happen.
But remember,
don't start. I know you have some withdrawal, like, you're scared, the fear thing creeps in on you, or anxiety. Just know in your mind that you're going to do it every day.
Yeah.
You're going to do it.
I think I have a lot less anxiety about it this time, because I'm not going to know, I'm not going to know when it comes out of my system. It's going to be like one of those placebo things. Like, I'm really never going to know when it happens. So,
right. And even if you do, you're just going to move forward because it's your time anyway. Like, you're going. You're done.
Man. Here's the thing, Kevin. it's not the first time you're going to feel those feelings. You know, we've all felt them millions of times before it finally did. So it's like, you know, man, it's not some stranger visiting you. You know what I mean? It sucks. But I'm just saying, it's still something, you know, what's up.
It goes away though.
And it will go away, brother.
Just gotta do it once.
Yeah, man.
One time. That's it.
Yeah, dude.
I just wanted to take a quick second to send a shout out to Mama Deb. She just sent a $20 cash app, baby. And she says, I love you all. So thank you, Mama Deb, for the $20 cash app and for sharing your long, slow taper with the group here, and also for moderating the channel. I really do appreciate your support along the way. And I really hope that you continue to stay around with us here, Mama Deb. It sounds like Marky might be kind of moving on a little bit here and there, but I'm sure you guys will all stick around at least sometime, right?
That main is I'm so proud of her. Like, she's good. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's so awesome to see that because again, we know what it's like, and to be 10 days away.
To talk to her in like a year or like 9 months from now, like just to see, you know. Like
there's no turning back now.
Nah, she's a beast.
That's it.
She did it.
Yeah.
She did it.
Yeah.
She put in that work. She earned it.
Yeah, she did.
That dance though, that nighttime flip flop dance with the little bit of that, man, I totally like when she kept in the past several weeks, she's been saying that in the chat, and I like totally related to exactly what she was doing, you know. But that's awesome. Yeah.
It's been really interesting to see, like, because I have seen a few of Zach's videos, and it really seems like it is a much less withdrawal. Like, it's clear to see, you know.
Yeah.
He's getting out there with his life so easily and fast, and it's just like it clearly makes a difference if you taper, guys. Like, if you jump off 16, 24 milligrams, you're not going to be out there making videos 2 days later. You know what I mean?
And they were ready. Their mind was ready. That helps a lot too. Like, because like you can freak out about withdrawal and it'll make it worse, you know. But like when you know you're done, like that helps so much. Like they knew they were done. They were like, I'm not taking. Zach was like, I'm not doing. I've been on this stuff for how many? Over 15 years.
He's fed up,
I'm not
man.
living the rest. Yeah.
He was fed up.
It was time to go. And
you're angry at it. Yeah.
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 And that's it. You did it.
Yeah, Zach was freaking beast mode, especially how he came down from 40 milligrams or whatever he was on. I mean, damn, dude, I thought that was going to take him a few years, to be honest with you.
See, when people do it like that, I mean, it is insane. Then you really see they're done. Because generally people will take their time or whatever. But if it's from like a high amount like that, and they're like, I tapered in, you know, to 0.5 in 1 month. It's like, oh, damn, you really want this. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but regardless, you do it, and if it works.
Yeah, when he made his video, like saying, he was like, maybe, I can't remember, but maybe 48 hours in. And he's like, you know, he didn't have his kids at his house, right? He was like, oh, well, my kids aren't here, whatever. And I just told him, like, that's a sign, dude. Don't take it. Like, you don't have your kids, like, keep going. Like, and he just kept going and going. And I was like, man, he's got it now. Like, once you get those days behind you, that week, and now it's 2 weeks, and it's going to start going, you know, and that's the key, man. Just get some days.
It's kind of like seeing games in the gym, Kev.
Yeah.
Then you keep going.
I love me some games.
That's
the kind of shit that kind of shit motivates me so
same concept though.
Yeah,
same concept.
It is. Yeah. So,
well, do you guys have any other questions or comments? Anything you want to say before I let you guys go? I want to kind of wrap this up here, probably in the next 10 minutes or so.
No, man. Just appreciate. Thanks for having us on. Good to meet you, Marky. Put a face to a name. You know.
Same to you. And everybody in the chat.
And everyone in the chat. Right. Yeah.
Guys. If you guys ever needed some motivation, these two fellows right here have gone through exactly what you guys all desire, and that's to be off of Suboxone. Obviously, when the time is right, guys, don't rush it if you're recent into recovery, and don't go relapse, obviously. But you guys all know in your soul when it's time to move on from this medication, and we're showing you plenty of people on this channel that are doing these things and they're moving on, and these guys have had plenty of time moved on, and now we're showing new people right now that are doing it. A lot of you are switching to the Sublocade shot. Like, don't just get stuck in one way your whole life. Like, if something's not working, move on to the next and make the next plan and try something different. Like, just don't stick out and sit there for 24 years on 50 milligrams of Suboxone.
Yeah, like, you got just one last thing, like, you just, for anyone, you know, in the chat and listening and stuff, just keep in mind, because there's so many channels out there, there's so much Reddit and all of that stuff, right? We've all been there, and you know, it's like you could get bogged down in that stuff and like not really kind of, especially the Reddit, like, you know, Suboxone withdrawal and all. There's so much information out there, but just remember, you know, people that succeed, they're not all like all over Reddit saying, "Oh, I've been off 10 years." So what you see on social media and other platforms are people that are working to get off or on it, trying. But the success stories, I mean, I haven't done the statistics on it, but I can almost guarantee that it's itty bitty compared to the large amount of people that are posting because they're searching, looking, want help and stuff like that. So just know, basically what I'm saying, that there's hundreds and thousands of people like me and Marky out there that just went on now. In the past, you know, maybe they got off 20 years ago when it first came out. They're out there, and it's possible, because you can get bogged down on seeing things where it's impossible, and it gets in your head, you know. So just always keep that in mind when you're like reading stuff, that you're going to see more of this and less of the good stuff, you know, the success stories, you know. But that's about it, man. I appreciate you having us on, Kevin.
Okay, guys, I thank you, and hopefully I'll have you guys on again sometime, and maybe in the next, I don't know, 6 or 12 months again. We can just
anytime,
kind of do a video like this every once in a while.
For sure.
No problem, brother. No problem.
Okay, guys,
right,
thanks for hopping on, guys. Okay,
all right, guys. Have a good night.
You too, buddies. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll kind of let them just hop off here. Does anybody have any questions, comments, anything that I missed in the comment section? We'll probably keep going for maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so, just kind of wind things down here. If you guys haven't yet, please hit that like button. It looks like we have 20 likes on this video. If we could try to at least get that to 25, guys. We usually get like 30 or 35, but I wasn't harping you guys, obviously, as I was trying to keep the conversation going with the gentleman there. So if you haven't yet, please smash that like button, guys. News 23 says, I'm motivated more than I was before watching this. Awesome. That's the goal here, guys, is, you know, if you took any little golden nuggets from anything that anybody said here on this video, then run with that, right? If something stood out to you in this video, something positive, just go with that and just take it and run with it, right, guys? Don't, as Sonny was just saying near the end there, you can go on Reddit and find tons of negative comments about how hard it is to get off of Suboxone, right? Or how bad the withdrawal is. But there are, in fact, people out there that have got off. You're seeing it here in the comment section. You've seen it here on the video today. I've had plenty of people on the channel in the past that have moved on from this lifestyle, guys. So just a quick side note, that reminded me what Sonny was just saying there at the end. I think I talked about this recently on a video, is that there are people on Reddit who are saying that there is no withdrawal from Sublocade, guys. Now, when is the last time you guys have ever heard anybody say that about Suboxone, right? And that kind of goes back to what Sonny was just saying. If there are actually people on Reddit saying that there is no withdrawal, or if there is a withdrawal, that it's not nearly as bad as Suboxone, for you people who are considering the Sublocade shot, that's another thing to keep in mind, right, guys, is that if you don't want to go through the taper route, then consider the Sublocade shot, guys, because there are people who are claiming that Sublocade does not have a withdrawal, right, guys? So whether that means to be true or not for me, you guys will find out in the near few months, probably 3-6 months or so. I plan on getting my last shot in 30 days from today. And I hope to show you guys, if you know, what that's like for me personally. So I'm really kind of just excited to get there, you know, and seeing Deb and Zach move on from this stuff, it's motivating me to go to that next level as well, guys. So there are a lot of you guys who are switching over to Sublocade. I would just say, if you're having success tapering Suboxone, then just stick with that, guys, right? But if you're not having success, or you've failed many times tapering Suboxone, then that's probably when you're going to be looking into the Sublocade. Also, if you guys have good enough of insurance that's going to cover the Sublocade shot, right? Because we know that it is an expensive shot if you don't have insurance. So just a couple things I wanted to talk about real quick there, guys. I just don't want you guys who have failed tapering off Suboxone to feel hopeless, because I felt that way a lot of times in my past. And I know how bad it sucks to, especially being a content creator, to tell everybody I'm jumping off Suboxone this date, and then you suffer for a week and it's just too hard for whatever reason, and you just get back on, right? Or you go through a freaking super stressful time in life, and then you reach back into your medicine box to get some more Suboxone, and then before you know it, you're just back in the grind again, right? So I've done all those things. You guys have seen me get off Suboxone before in the past, but I had my lockbox in my possession, and that's why I went back to it, because it was an option, right? So I tell you guys, if you're really ready to move on from this lifestyle, especially if you've already gone through withdrawal, then get rid of that stuff. Because if you have that around, it literally only takes one big bad thing in your life to happen to really make you want to zone out past that event, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. So just some things for you guys to think about. I don't want anybody to feel like, if they're unable to taper off of Suboxone for whatever reason, you know, that they're just screwed and doomed. Just know that Sublocade can be there as a secondary option, right? A different way out, so to speak. So I am excited to see how everything goes for everybody in the future. I know that a lot of people on this channel will report to me every week. You know, they'll tell me what they're going through, and it's actually kind of my favorite part about this channel is hearing what you guys are going through, hearing what progress you guys are making, right? Because I'm just one person, but you guys there's 2,500 other people out there watching this channel that they're stuck in some sort of trap of their own, right? So it's important to me that you guys share with me what you guys are going through and what your future goals are, right? So we can all try to help each other get to our independent goals, because they're likely all going to be kind of different from each other. So just a few things I wanted to touch on, guys. Looks like we still have 18 people in here. If you guys have any questions, comments, please put them in the section now, and I'll go ahead and respond to the recent comments here, guys. Carrie had a question earlier. Is she still in here? What was the question? Let me scroll up. Carrie, you still in here? Carrie said Sonny used to have a channel, right? Yeah, Sonny had a channel like a year or two ago, and he had to delete it for work purposes. Let's see. No, Marky doesn't have a channel either. What else? Is that all the questions she had? Did I miss something else? Thank you, Cindy. Yeah, if you guys can share the video like Cindy always does. Cindy always lets me know that she's sharing my videos. If you guys can share this with somebody that you think might benefit from this information, I would appreciate that, guys. Also, if you can smash that like button if you guys haven't yet. Again, shout out to Mama Deb for the $20 super chat, baby. She sponsored today's live stream, so shout out to you, Mama Deb, for sponsoring today's show, baby. She said something happened to her shot and it turned into a cyst. What? Where did she say that? Carry 3, a cyst. What is a cyst? Let me scroll back up here. Is she still in here? Carrie, are you still in here? I think I seen something about her asking me if I had an issue with one of my shots. And you guys remember that video I posted recently? I think my doctor just injected the shot too shallow on my skin, so it was like kind of poking out abnormally. that was my issue, but nothing ever ended up happening. It was totally normal within just a few days. So it was just like a little bit more swelling than I usually get. This is where Carrie says, didn't you have something happen to your shot? Let's see. Sorry, guys, there were a lot of comments I couldn't touch on, but I don't see where she's saying that. Okay, here we go. Kevin, have you heard of this? Marky Rizzo just sent us $10 Cash App, baby. He says, for a great talk. See you out there, baby. Shout out to you, Marky. I appreciate you coming on here, dude. And also for the $10 Cash App sponsorship for the show, baby. If you guys didn't know, we've had Sonny and Marky on the channel before. You're welcome to go through the previous live streams. I don't remember exactly when it was. Just a quick side note, I will update the thumbnail to show, obviously show that they were on here as well. So I usually try to kind of update the title of the video, just kind of depending on what we talked about. I'll do that afterwards. So probably tonight or tomorrow, I'll have a better thumbnail with me and the boys on here. So shout out to you, Marky. I appreciate that sponsorship, brother. And I hope you don't go missing on us. Oh, I forgot to tell you earlier, Marky. Deb said that she'll throw rocks at you if you disappear. So let's see, she says, or this was way earlier. She said, Kevin, have you heard of this? They said there must have been some sort of infection and now it's healed and the depot is dead. That don't sound right to me and need to get it surgically removed. What? That sounds weird, Carrie. I don't see how that could, the depot can't just die. It's a freaking depot. It's inside of you, right? It can't just die. Something sounds weird with that. Have you heard of this? Did she say, okay, I had a bad surprise when I went to the doctor last week. They said my depot is dead. That doesn't make any sense to me how it can't just die. And now I have to go to urgent care of a doctor and get the depot removed, kind of like they do for a cyst. Carrie, that don't sound right to me. Is it like infected or what's going on? I haven't heard of anybody say that yet, so it sounds like something bad happened with Carrie. Hopefully we can get some more information. Is she still in here? I had a bad surprise. That's weird because I kind of had that little bit of an issue with my last shot too, Carrie, but mine didn't end up being any issue at all. It was just some abnormal swelling. And I think my doctor just didn't inject the shot far enough into my fat. So how long ago did you get that shot, Sherry or Carrie? Sorry, did she say how long ago? Yeah, I mean there could sometimes be issues, like I said, guys, with I guess Carrie had some sort of an issue with her last shot, but I think this is the first time she's had an issue. But I can't picture how the shot could just magically be dead. That literally does not make any sense to me. But I'm not a doctor, obviously, so that just seems really weird. If it's in you, if it's somewhere at least close to your fat, it's gonna go away. It's not just gonna be sitting there forever. That doesn't. I would say, Carrie, if you're watching this, if you're still here, give it some time. I'm sure you'll be fine. Because I thought there was going to be this huge issue with my shot too, and it literally was nothing. Also, Deb says, I think Carrie left earlier. She might have been at work. All right. Well, Carrie, if you see this on the replay, please give us some more information in the comments on the replay if you could. Snowballs, maybe. Yeah, that was really awesome to have those guys on here. It's always good to pick the brain of somebody who's gone through, like, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. We can relate to each other so much. So I'm really glad to have those guys still in the friend group here and continuing to come back. And I hope that they both continue to do that because it's been great having them both around here. But as I remember what Marky had said earlier, that they're like, if something happened in the future and I just kind of go away from YouTube for a while, like I hope that other people out there can make their own channels, guys, because it will help you. It will help you to build even if it's a small community of like 20 people, right? Like just people that can relate to your struggle. And I promise you will find the right people and they will find you guys. So I hope that if you're out there and you're watching this now and you're somehow in the position to make videos talking about your struggles with Suboxone or fentanyl addiction or opiate addiction, please make a channel, guys. It will help others and it will help you. I shared it at the Faces of Opioids. There are tens of thousands of people on there. That is awesome. Thank you, Cindy. I know you've always shared the videos on this channel, even since I was like probably 100 subscribers. I remember you've been around for quite a while, Cindy, so thank you. You've always shared my videos. I'm on my phone. I can't see her comment anymore. Oh, sorry. News to 3 asked what milligrams they jumped off of. I think Sunny jumped off of about a half of a milligram or a quarter of a milligram. And Marky jumped off of, I think he said 1.5 or 2 milligrams. So it sounds like they both used Kratom for the first little bit. And specifically, I know that Sunny used a much smaller amount of Kratom. He was like 2 capsules a day or something like that. It sounded like Marky said he used half of a tablespoon, which should be like 5 grams. And I'm sure he used that probably a few times a day. So people who jump off of Suboxone at higher doses and they switch to Kratom, they're going to need to take a bunch more Kratom, right? It's directly related to how low of a dose you jump off to how much Kratom you're going to use. So I've seen Cindy had mentioned something about how Kratom has been giving her horrible withdrawals for many weeks or something like that. So sorry I couldn't touch on everybody's comments. Hopefully you're doing okay with that, Cindy. I remember you kind of left a comment on one of my videos a while ago talking about the Kratom. So hopefully you're able to move on from the Kratom there, girl. I hope Carrie's okay. Hopefully she can give us some more information on that. Yeah, I'm sure she'll be totally fine. And I literally can't see how an injection can just die in you. That seems so weird. It makes me wonder what he did wrong on the injection. Let's see. Thanks, Cindy. I think, oh, I already read that. Snowballs. All right, guys, we're going to probably hop off here. I need to get to the gym, get a pump on these shoulder babies. 2 hours and 12 minutes. Don't forget to smash that like button on the way out, guys. Shout out to Mama Deb for the $20 Cash App and my boy Marky Rizzo for the $10 Cash App. I appreciate you guys sponsoring today's live stream. Make sure I'm not missing any final comments here. Deb, keep going. We're really proud of you with the 10 days, girl. I'm so finished with it. Okay, good, Cindy. So Cindy's moving on from the Kratom. Mama Deb, she got 10 days off of Suboxone, and people are moving on. People are making moves in their life, guys. So that's what we strive to do here on the channel, always moving forward. Maybe it takes you a little bit longer than it does some others. That's okay. Just set your sights on whatever goal you need to and keep working towards that, guys. Don't ever give up. I seen somebody made a comment the other day saying how he just gave up on trying to get off of buprenorphine altogether. So guys, if this is important to you, just don't ever give up. Even if you have to just make these tiny little gains each day, 0.25% in the right direction, then do it, guys. All right. If it's important to you, keep going. Don't ever give up. I love you guys, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. See you guys.